And now the Ann Arbor Senior Center presents Senior Moments.
Hello, and welcome to Senior Moments. I'm Connie Craft. I'm very pleased to introduce you to Sue Beutler, an artist who's been around everywhere for a long time. She knows every place. And we were just talking about the fact that she was at the Ann Arbor Art Fair right over there by the post office, which was a good spot. So she's going to talk to us first about what she thinks about her work, how she got into it, and what is the purpose of it. Sue?
Oh, that's a big question. Well, to start off with, I think I was groomed to be an artist when I was just a little girl.
Because your parents were artists?
Well, my grandfather was an architect, my mother was an artist, but they just, I guess they saw that I was very creative. So I remember being sent to the art museum for classes. There were adult classes when I was 5. I can remember sitting there. So I know that they had their eye on art for me. So I grew up with it, but I did other things as an adult. And as soon as I retired from Ann Arbor Public Schools, I then went right over to the University of Michigan and started classes, really starting from the beginning with a lot of drawing. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do ceramics or sculpture or painting. I really didn't know. But when I got into painting class, I decided this is really where I want to be. So I got 2 degrees at U of M, and I'm still involved in classes at university level. But I paint really as a way of expressing and telling people what's on my mind. So one of the things, like I paint from everything from our travels to problems in our society that I want to express. And like these were the bluebonnet flowers of Texas, and when we were down there in Texas, we saw fields of them. And I saw in an art museum down there some painters painting the bluebonnet flower. It is their state flower.
It's that brilliant a blue?
Yes, and it's so wonderful. So that's why I painted that, just to see what I could do. When I start with an idea, I don't know whether I can do it or not. I will always look at the canvas and say, I wonder if I can say what I have in my mind, because I don't know what it looks like until after I've done it. And then I pick up some things that are like problems, and I saw that our people coming back from Baghdad, this is called Home from Baghdad. And I'm thinking of these young fathers and mothers who come back, and they've been over there for a year's deployment. They come back, and then how do they adjust to their little children at home? So this is one of a series of 4, and it has a bookcase, a child's bookcase. And then I put in among the toys here, I put in some imagery that I got off of the internet of people and children in Baghdad, and just cut those images out and glued them on and painted around them. So that this is like the juxtaposition. Where do the memories go in the brain from the experiences in Baghdad to back home where you're living what we call our normal everyday life?
Now, did you have any conversations with some of the people who had been there about how they adjusted?
Well, actually, I have a grandson-in-law who has had 2 deployments in Baghdad, and he has little children at home. So I kept thinking, how is he adjusting, and how does the mind handle such things?
How does he handle it?
Well, I think it was hard at first, but he stayed in the Army, so he has that support of the people in the Army now. I think it's particularly hard for the ones who come home and they are out of the Army and fending for themselves out in our society, and it's hard then.
I can only imagine how hard it must be. You mentioned you retired from the Ann Arbor Public Schools.
Yes.
Would you tell us something about that career?
Oh, well, that was 30 years of teaching in Ann Arbor, and I loved it. I had trouble quitting and saying, this is my last year to teach. I was at Tappan, and I really had everything comfortably set up. I was having such a good time. And I was writing manuals, and I had about 3 manuals in my head of what I wanted to do. And it's true that 30 years were up, and I promised my husband that I'd retire after 30 years so we could do some other things.
And you did.
We did.
Yes.